Well, hello and welcome to this week's update. Thank you so much for joining me here on YouTube. Now, we are just slightly in bullish opening range mode, but what you'll see is that we had a doji, D-O-J-I, a doji candle printed on Friday. What does that mean? That means it's an indecision candle. See that last red candle there? How the real body, the colored in bit, is very small. That shows indecision in the current trend. So certainly we've been moving higher, as you can see, from around 3,800 here, all the way up to 4,137 where we are now. But then on Friday, we had an indecision candle where the market was pretty much neutral for that day. It shows indecision, and what you have to do when you see a doji candle like this after a significant move up, you have to look for when the next candle is printed, because that next candle is going to tell you whether it's bullish or bearish. So what does that mean? That means that if I see the price must close above the doji, then I believe the bullish sentiment or the bullish move will continue up. So the markets will move higher. If it closes below this doji, then the markets will move lower. So that's something we have to wait for on Monday to see whether the markets close above the doji or below. It will tell you where the next move is likely to be. The other thing that I'm waiting for here is the US dollar. Look at DXY, which is the US dollar. Is this a double bottom? Normally a double bottom, as we see one bottom there and two here, and then normally this is a bullish pattern, and you will see it move to the upside. So if this is a double bottom, 1, 2, and it does break to the upside, US dollar up, stock market down. So this will tell me that the market is going to move down if US dollar starts to bounce off this level and actually confirm the double bottom pattern. So I'm waiting for a close above or below the doji. I have to wait for that. And I've got to see what the US dollar does as well, because if it does bounce higher, the market's going lower. So I really have to be patient and wait for that. Now, as far as positions we've got right now, we'll talk about that in a moment, but what we want to look at is still the market, right? The market dictates what we do. The market is in charge. We're simply in tune with the market, and we'll do whatever the market tells us to do. We want to trade with the flow of money. We want to trade with the probabilities. That's what it's all about. So we can see this channel line here, this trend line is still intact, right? The market is still above or using this trend line as a support level, right? So we'll keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on where the price is on Monday, above or below the doji, and watch the DXY as well. If it moves higher, markets will move lower. So there's some things that we have to look for. Now, what we saw last week is the CPI, or the CP line number, came out, inflation. It came in at 5.0. They expected it to be 5.1, so it was pretty neutral, right? But the market liked that, and when the market saw that, you can see that it moved up on Thursday. But then Friday, indecision. So we'll have to wait and see what happens on Monday. Now, there's a lot of earnings coming out this week. In particular, we have Netflix. Right, they're reporting earnings, so your tech stocks are very important. They have a huge weight in the overall market. Okay, and if we start to see tech stocks have really good earnings, then we could see the markets move higher, or very bad earnings, the markets could move lower. So Netflix is reporting this week. We'll keep an eye on that. The other company that's reporting their earnings, telling us how much money they made, earnings per share and revenue for the last 3 months, and then also what their forecast is for the next 3 months, is Tesla as well. So Netflix and Tesla. Be watching that very, very carefully. Goldman Sachs will be reporting earnings as well, so we'll be keeping a close eye on those. Now, a company that just did report earnings is JP Morgan. They were very good. Look at that move, right? So we'll be keeping a close eye on Goldman Sachs, Bank of America, Johnson & Johnson, Netflix, Morgan Stanley, Tesla. They're some of the companies that are reporting earnings this week. Even more large tech companies reporting earnings the following week, right? So we're right in the middle of earnings season right now. So for those reasons, I'm not taking a lot of trades this week, right? We need to see where the market opens, above or below the doji, and I need to be having a look very closely at the DXY as well, and see what the earnings are likely to be this week. So having said all of that, this was a position that we had on Tesla, right? Now, this position we had on Tesla, all we needed it to do, and I'll just show you here, is stay between 205 and 174. right? So if Tesla, just bring it up here so you can see this, if Tesla stayed anywhere between, we'll go back to it, 205 and 174, 205 and 174, anywhere in between those levels, and we're making money. Where did it close? 185. Happy days. So what happened with our trade that we had on? We made 132% return on our risk. 132% return. Pretty amazing, right? So that was a trade that we had on this week. We absolutely loved that one. And then another position that we had on as well was with Wynn, right? Casino stock, right? And what we needed this one to do is stay between 113 and 103. So let's have a look. 103, right? And 113. Okay, where is it? 110, or almost to 111. So we closed that out for a very substantial return here. Let me just work this out. For some reason it's deleted itself off there. So we only had $62 of risk per contract. Okay, $62 of risk per contract, and we made $68, right, in profit. So 110% return on our risk in a week. We didn't need to pick a direction. It just had to stay within a certain range, and we made 110% return on Wynn and 132% return in a week on these two trades. Options are the most powerful, versatile way to make money. They are better than anything. They destroy crypto. They destroy stocks. They destroy futures. Destroy Forex. Options are the most powerful way to make money in the safest possible way. I don't even need to pick a direction, and I can make 100+% returns in a week. Pretty amazing. So let me show you a position that we're looking to get into now with Riot. Now, we know that recently Bitcoin has broken that 30,000 US dollar a coin level, right? We're trading at 30,359 right now. So now that it's broken 30,000, what I'm looking to do is get into a position here with Riot where I don't want to just buy the stock. What I want to do is agree to buy it at a cheaper price than what it's trading at, right? So it's trading at $13.48 right now. And if you have a look at it on the chart, Bitcoin mining stock, you can see that it's had a very big run. Okay, now I don't want to buy it up at these elevated levels. RSI, relative strength index, is 80. Anything above 70 means it's overbought. I don't want to buy it here. What I want to do is agree to buy it below this pivot low at $10. So with the stock at $13.48, I can agree to buy it all the way down at 10 and get paid day one. So I decide the price at which I want to pay for the stock, and I get paid day one for agreeing to buy it at a discount. Pretty good deal, right? So the 10 strike put, I'll receive $101 for every 100 shares I agree to buy, and I'm going to take this out to the 16th of June, right? So that is a 10.1% return on my risk. Now, one of two things can happen. Riot can finish above $10 come the 16th of June, or below. It's the only two things that can happen. If it finishes above, I keep the $101 per contract, 10% return, right, for 61 days, and I don't need to buy the stock. You keep the money, you don't buy the stock. Now, if it does finish below 10, I still keep the money, which is a great deal, but now I have to buy the stock at the price I agreed, which is $10, with a cost basis of $8.99. So a pretty good deal either way. I buy a quality company that is massively undervalued compared to the current price. I buy it at a much cheaper price, a steep discount, whatever way you want to look at it. Or if it finishes above 10, I keep the money and I don't do anything. So it's a great setup there. So that's what we're doing, right, with this. Now, the other trade that we've had on here is a trade with MicroStrategy. Now, MicroStrategy has had a significant move recently. As you can see, we've gone from around 190 to 333 in a month. Yeah. So our mastery members in 3 weeks have generated over $8,000 US in profit from what I call my synthetic stock position. It's a really powerful way of using options where we buy a call, sell a put at the same time for the same expiry, and it really is a powerful way of making money very quickly on a stock that you believe is massively undervalued and long term has great prospects for moving higher. So we have made a phenomenal return on our investment, over $8,000 in income in 3 weeks. Now, we actually got paid to enter the position. I know, sounds pretty amazing, right? So we've actually made a very good investment here with our options strategy, our a call synthetic stock position. So it's like setting up a stock position but using options, right? Synthetically is the same thing, and we've made an incredible return. Recently, the Bank of Canada bought a huge amount of MicroStrategy shares, adding onto the incredible amount of shares they've already got. Right? So the Bank of Canada is buying MicroStrategy. Why? Because it's a direct way of investing in Bitcoin. MicroStrategy has over 140,000 Bitcoin, 140,000. And a way of investing in Bitcoin without investing in Bitcoin is to buy MicroStrategy, right? And that's what the Bank of Canada has done just this week. So we've done extremely well with our trading, absolutely crushing it there with Tesla, with Win, and we're looking to get into a trade on Riot, and massive money being made on MicroStrategy, and we're still in the position. So doing very, very, very well. Keep an eye on earnings. Keep an eye on the Doji on the SPX. Let's see what the US dollar does this week, and I'll look forward to talking to you again next week. All the best, and bye for now.